That is a brilliant question. But behind the scenes, it's just chaos. And there is a lot of hard work. There is a lot that goes in every rehearsal. I'm a hard taskmaster, as my students will tell you. So we go through a lot of iterations of the pieces. I think about the pieces. I think about what we want to achieve. I imagine and dream my performance and then work backwards with all the artists and the cast who are working towards it. So we work with so there is a lot going on. There is sometimes there are a lot of changes because when I look at a piece and I've choreographed it, but when I kind of see it in the studio and I feel that no, I want to change it, so I make changes to it, which is sometimes a little bit tough for the cast. But I think all of us love the joy of creating. So I think eventually it all works out. I'm not very fond of admin, but there is so much admin that goes on behind the scenes, especially when you work with children for their safeguarding, for the risk assessments. So there's a lot of admin side, which I have to do, but I don't like. The creative side, I love. And so I spent a lot of time on that. And there is a lot of hard work. There is a lot of sweat. There is a lot of teamwork. There is a lot of support. Sometimes there is a breakdown, but we all work together. And we want to create that magic on stage. And I think what drives me every time I'm frustrated, every time I'm exhausted, like even yesterday after I finished my Downing performance, I was, of course, in a state of ecstasy and joy. And then I had to switch off and run to my rehearsal at Bhavan for my 7:15 class. So my team was waiting there, and I went in I was exhausted, but I was there because they were there. So I think that's what happens behind the scenes. It's just nonstop. And in an artist's life, you don't really switch off. You don't. It's not like I have a weekend off. I don't really have time off because especially when I'm working towards a festival, I'm constantly thinking what to make, how to make it better, what can I add, what can I remove. So even, sometimes my family, I'm talking to them and I'm not talking to them because I'm constantly thinking about, what I'm trying to present. And I think there is a joy in that. There is a challenge in that, but that's what an artist's life is. For me, I think every performance is special because I know what goes into every performance, whether it's the young children who start our show, whether it is our dancers, from international collaborators. I think every part of the festival, because I put in so much of thought and love and work into every piece, for me, I can't really pick a piece that is my favorite or a moment that is my favorite. I leave that to the audience to decide. Last time when we did the festival, I think my Kali piece, which I created on Goddess Kali and her different manifestations, I think that was really powerful because I felt the power of Kali in the moment, and I think the audience felt it. Nobody moved in that space, and I think for me that was absolutely special. So many people had messaged me that we will not stay for more than half an hour because we have other commitments, because it's also a very busy time. It's Diwali, Christmas, so many things going on, but nobody left, nobody moved, and I received so much love after the festival. So I'm hoping to create something similar this year where the audience really takes back something with them, and whichever piece means something to them, I'm very happy as long as they feel something and we are able to connect at a deeper level, within the performance. That for me is kind of my goal. And that is the goal of Indian classical arts, that we take the audience to a spiritual moment and connect at a very deep level. And so that is how I create and curate my work. My journey in Kuchipudi started when I was very young. So I was 5 or 6 years old, and my mother put me in a class. I fell in love with my teacher, and that's how it began. So as a North Indian, my parents are North Indian. So, typically, I perhaps would have learned another form, but I think it is because my mother saw Kuchipudi performance and she really enjoyed it. It's what I worked with, and that is what I have dedicated my life to. I, like any other young girl, had different passions. So I was, academically strong. I went into a banking and consulting career. And then roughly more than 15 years ago, I was always dancing, I was always performing. So I was very grateful that I could do both. But I think almost 15 years ago, I decided to just go into dance full time. And since then, yes, that's what my journey has been. It has been my vision to really take Indian arts and put them in a space where they belong, give them their true identity. And as I said earlier, as an Indian citizen who lives abroad, it was very important for me that everybody around me felt proud of their culture. We don't need to mimic somebody else to fit in. We are enough in who we are. We are actually more than enough, because what Indian culture and Indian tradition inspires is extremely deep rooted. And we must understand that. And we must appreciate that, and we have the duty to carry it forward with pride. And I felt very sorry for a lot of people who felt that they need to move away from their so-called Indian identity and be somebody else, because they felt that they had to dress in a certain way, or they had to eat a certain food, or follow a certain type of culture, because they may not be accepted in that society. And me, I've always been an extremely proud Indian, and really, because I've worked in Indian dance and I've had the fortune of having amazing teachers and experiences through my art form, I realize the significance of this art form. I realize that any scripture you pick up, it is not preaching us just a religion. It is preaching us a way of life. It is preaching us a freedom in a different way. Our tradition does not bind us. Our tradition frees us. It is as contemporary as it gets. So, because I understand Indian culture and its deep rootedness at that level, I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about passing on this legacy in safe hands. And I really urge every parent, every grandparent, every youngster, every child to take up an Indian dance form or an Indian music, because these art forms have been created with a lot of thought. They have science, they have health. We talk about mental and physical health. Everybody is adopting yoga only because the West adopted yoga, so why do we need that validation? As I said, we are more than enough. Pick anything. Our food today, turmeric latte is popular because the West kind of markets it. There is intrinsic value in everything that we have, and as I said, these have been thought through scientifically. Indian dance, Indian music, it follows raga system, which goes by seasons, time of day. It is, mentally, it has brilliant benefits, for our health and our mental stability. So we have everything within our culture. We just need to hold on to it. We just need to understand it and nurture it and embrace it. And I really urge everyone to do it. So for me, that was my prime motive, because I am not going to shy away from it. I am not going to wear a certain type of dressing because I need to prove anything. I am very proud in who I am and where I'm from. So yes, so that was my motive. It was very important for me to teach it to children in the right way, with the right understanding. So I am not a hobby dancer. I am not a hobby artist that I do a little bit of, something else and a little bit of dance. This is what I do. this is what I want children to learn in the right way, in the right methodology. And of course, I have given my teaching approach a very different kind of approach. So I take a different approach to my teaching. My model is slightly different, but the content is what I have received as legacy from my teachers and my ancestors. So I want to pass that on. I want children to love dance. I don't work with them on just instruction led practice. I work with them with the same freedom that I had in my dance form, or I have. So I talk to them, because obviously when they live here, they don't understand, why when they don't really necessarily go to temple every week. So they need to understand and appreciate what Indian culture and Indian tradition and Indian religion is all about. So I think it is also a lot about educating, and also I learn from them every day. So I think it all started on a note where I wanted to really perform. I wanted to really spread the joy of Kuchipudi, and I realized that I'm in London and I need to be, if I want to be in mainstream London art scene, where the best from the world come together, I need to be at a completely different level. So I actually had to learn a lot and unlearn some, and then bring my art to the fore. And I've been very fortunate, because I'm very grateful to the universe that the kind of opportunities I have received. But with every opportunity, it has been my responsibility to create for the space, to really demonstrate excellence in what I do. And so I pay a lot of attention to detail, right from what bindi is everyone going to wear, what flowers everybody is going to wear, what is the costuming. So for me, what is the light? How do they enter? How do they exit? What do they wear when they come in? No, I would just say that, it was an extraordinary milestone yesterday, and another one for us. And I'm very proud of what we have been able to achieve. And I think, as I said, for me, I would just, leave the message that, if you have a passion, especially in arts, take it up. Be fearless, take that risk, because a lot of people want to do it, but don't know where to start. A lot of people feel there is a risk. A lot of people also don't feel society has value for it. Like, I remember when people used to ask me, what do you do? And I said, I'm a dance artist. Yeah, but what do you do? And I said, well, that's who I am, right? So it is, again, very important to follow who you are and who you want to be, because we are in a very exciting time, where anything is relevant. So we have a new genre of professionals called influencers. So you can be who you want to be, as long as you believe in what you're doing, and as long as you work hard, as long as you work in a detailed way, and you have a vision, and you're excited about it every day. I'm excited about my work every day, because every day my work is different. I don't have any day that is same. I create every day. I find joy in what I see every day. And if I don't find joy in it, I probably create a piece even on that. So, for me, that is how I worked. And I'm really excited about what is to come. Please come join us at our festival, or any other, at VNA event, or the Kuchipudi Festival. Support us, support our artists, and support arts in general, because if we get our audiences, that's who we create for. We want to have connections and build connections with our audiences. So love to see everyone at the festival or any of our future events. You can follow us on Instagram, and well, that, like I said, that's a new genre of where we can connect, and yes, and join hands with us. So thank you so much for your time today, and for organizing this session.